All right, take us through, first of all, how are things right now out there in the southeast?
Yeah, morning, Nate. Good morning, everyone. It's going to be a windy old day across southeastern Australia today. We've already seen a good amount of rain and some strong winds, a few thunderstorms yesterday through South Australia. Early this morning, that's now across Western Victoria. And if anything, it's only going to ramp up over the next few hours. The winds certainly are going to get very strong today. We have got these very extensive warnings in place for the damaging wind conditions expected later on through the day today. It covers basically the entire state of Victoria could see these damaging winds. The east and south of New South Wales, from Sydney down to the Victorian border, and southeastern parts of South Australia also seeing very strong winds. And there's even an enhanced warning for destructive winds possible across the Otway coast in Victoria and the southeast coast in South Australia. And those are winds that you don't want to mess around with. 125 kilometres an hour can take down trees, damage property, really dangerous driving conditions, and of course massive waves for anyone who happens to live on or near the coast. So we're going to see some really blustery conditions today across a massive part of the country. And throw into the mix, there will probably be some storms around as well. Over the next few hours, the storm systems could really ramp up, especially through Victoria. Now, they'll bring a little bit of rainfall, a little bit of hail maybe, but probably the storm's main risk is, again, another bout of strong winds. So when they go through, those gusts can really pick up and make for some pretty wild weather while those storms are directly over your area.
So we're not expecting a ton of rain unless you happen to cop a thunderstorm. Are there other concerns here? These winds, like picking up the surf, anything like that?
Oh, look, yeah, there's lots of concerns with the wind. The wind can have big impacts for many different parts, many different walks of life. It can make some big waves on the coast. It can make things pretty dangerous for anyone working outdoors or working at elevation. It can make it really hard to drive, not just because it can throw branches across the road, but strong crosswinds can make it difficult on a motorbike, on a tall vehicle like a camper van or anything of that nature. And the winds can put a lot of pressure on the power grid as well. Power outages always a concern when we're talking about winds of this speed, especially when the extent of the winds is so broad from South Australia across to New South Wales. So lots of concerns with the wind, and it's going to be lasting for quite a long part of the day today.
And it's not just the southeast that's feeling the effects of this, right? It's connected to a trough laying back through the country, tapping into heat in the north. We saw some records falling yesterday in terms of temperatures. What do we got today?
We did see some records yesterday. I'll just touch on a couple of those very quickly because they were quite significant temperature records, as both Queensland and New South Wales set records for the warmest temperature they've ever recorded in the month of October. So that was over 46 degrees in Birdsville in southwest Queensland and about 44.8 degrees in northern New South Wales, both state records for the time of year. That tells us that we're dealing with extreme heat. We're right at the top of the scale. It doesn't really get hotter than this at this time of year. Now today, the heat is moving out to the east coast. So yesterday it was all inland. Today it's coastal, and that means a really hot day for the New South Wales coast. Sydney is forecast to reach 39 degrees today, and I wouldn't rule out some of the suburbs flirting with 40 degrees in Sydney. We're going to be very close to some records there for this time of year. And really it's right up and down the coast as well. Hot day in Gosford, 39 degrees. Newcastle, 39 degrees. Wollongong, 37 degrees. It's pretty hot in the tablelands too. Canberra tracking towards 31 degrees, which is very hot for this time of year as well.
Angus, I noticed that some of those areas you're talking about heat, especially the Illawarra Shoalhaven, also dealing with the wind warnings. I assume that's got to ruin the fire danger.
Yeah, absolutely it does. It creates what we might call a spike day for fire danger, which is when you get all the different elements combining to make those quite dangerous conditions. So very hot day, of course, very windy day, and those are two of the key elements to what can make fire danger pretty dangerous. And that's the case today. Extreme fire danger and total fire bans in place for much of the New South Wales coast and parts of the New South Wales western slopes and plains. And just a reminder, increased fire danger doesn't necessarily mean that lots of fires are going to begin, but it means that any fires that do start can spread really quickly and be very hard to control and contain.